I'm Eileen Nash. Join me every week as we meet interesting people who will teach you new, creative ways to manage stress and embrace vitality in your life. Grab a cup of tea and join me for this adventure. Get ready to meet the Muse of Celebration. Join us as my guest, Beverly Dixon Millette, and her band of merrymakers celebrate her 80th birthday. Hi, today we're in Ojai, California, and we are talking with Beverly Millette. It is her 80th birthday, and she has planned a fabulous celebration, inviting people from all over Canada and the United States to come and celebrate all their birthdays. So thanks for joining me today, Beverly.
Thank you for joining us. My gosh, you made it very special.
Yes, so I found you through Gay Halpenny, my aunt. She's actually my aunt-in-law, which is, it's in complete alignment with your view that family involves a wide variety of people.
Yes. I am so glad you're here. I really am. It's just like the icing on the cake. The festivities have been great, and now with cameras. We got cameras taking pictures of us. Do you realize that people from a little town in northern Ontario, Canada, the odds of us ever being in California with a camera pointed at us are nil to none.
Well,
and you've made it happen.
It's like Andy Warhol said, we'll all be famous for 15 minutes.
Well, this is mine. And thank you.
We're going to be doing a creative process later called the Celebration of the Muse, where each person gets in touch with their own muse and is able to put their story on paper. But so Beverly is an artist, she's a writer, she was born in Canada, has moved multiple times, at least 4 times. She has written 4 books, and you're an artist. This is her artwork behind us.
In progress? Just in case anybody looks closely at it, it's a work in progress.
Yes, but one of her most valued treasures is her circle of friends. There are people at this gathering that she's been friends with since 2nd grade. So one of the things I wanted to talk with you about is how have you nurtured these relationships through so many decades?
That's a very good question. Just making the effort to stay in touch. When you gather, well, you would know this, when you become close friends with somebody, they're in your heart, so it doesn't much matter how far away you are. So when you get together, there's the most incredible thing that happens. There's people here I haven't seen for years and years and years, and it's difficult to say what that does for me. And for them, I hope. But it's the only thing, the only advice I have for anybody that's going to do this, it becomes a love fest for you. And sometimes that is very hard to take, that much adoration. You're overwhelmed with love. But now we're at the stage where we're just having lots of fun.
So Bev, can you tell us what are the benefits of tending a large circle of friends like this?
Just the love and the energy, it multiplies. I firmly believe that hugs are underrated. I get a lot of physical energy out of a hug, be it my beautiful husband or friends, and hopefully they get the same thing. Children need it, and as you get older, you seem to need it even more. It really feeds me. I'm very tactile anyway. That's always been my nature, but the hug is the ultimate gift to one another, I believe. I'll tell you how it started. I wanted to have all my friends get together, but if I just said, why don't you come down and visit, there was no way they'd ever come up with a date that suited them all. So I gave them a date, and they all knew my birthday, and they knew I was coming up 80. So by hanging this whole thing on my 80th birthday, I'm not going to say that they felt obliged to come, but they all made it themselves available, their busy calendars, to be here on that specific day. So if you're going to do this, anybody, find something to hang the whole thing on, or they will drift in different times of the year and it never happens. So many came here, plus the ones that couldn't for health reasons. Nobody stayed absent because of their work. They shifted their work around. We try to make sure everybody that couldn't make it is here in a sense.
Yeah, I feel like there's a connection and a holding space for them.
Oh, gosh, yes.
One of the aspects that I'm interested in is if someone else really wanted to just have more, reconnect with some people in their life, what would be a step or two that you could suggest?
Facebook, I'm not one to pitch things, but a lot of us reconnected through Facebook.
What if you had an argument with someone, but you really cared about them?
Oh, I wouldn't have an argument that kept us apart.
Well, I see you as a person who has a very open interpretation of family
Oh, yes.
and friendship. Because I know that there are people, they were introduced to me basically as part of your family, but then they explain that really there's no relation.
Oh, we have here a young girl we call our t'other daughter, and she was our son's first love, and when they split up, we couldn't let go of her. I mean, she was part of our lives, and so we kept her in our fold. She married somebody else, and she's here with her daughter and her grandson, and so there's three generations of people that are no relationship to us whatsoever, but they belong here. I try in my heart to think of the people that had an impact on my life, and of course there are many more people. I didn't even go back to my college years. I'm just lucky.
Yes, I think that you're very lucky, and your friends are.
It's
They have
it's win-win.
treasure of love
It's
from
win-win,
you.
yeah.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Beverly. I've had such a good time. And we have been talking with Beverly Millette here in Ojai, California. And happy birthday.
Thank you very much. But I just want to add to that it is an honor to meet you. A total honor. I followed you on Facebook again, and I just think you're living the life that I would have lived had I been born later and, at your age. If I was your age, I would be living your life. That's the way I should put it.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you. Now we're going to vision to meet your muse of celebration, where you use your mind and you're basically in touch with your subconscious. Just go with it. And so if I tell you to close your eyes and vision a lemon, or if I tell you to think about a cat or a dog, you can see it. So it's no different here when we do our journey. So what we're going to do, we live all the time in our sort of the real world where you can feel and touch everything, but our subconscious and our energetic body is actually interacting in ways I don't think science, they just haven't figured it out. And like your heart, you can feel it when, in various situations. So I want you to close your eyes, look down at your feet, in your eyes, mind's eye, and see that you're on a path. This path, it could be pebbles, it could be dirt, it could be sand, flat stones, but you're taking steps along this path, and you're in a forest glade. And you keep following this path, and you're going to come to, you see an open space in front of you, a meadow, and in it, so you step into it, and you see a woman, and she's seated. And this is your muse. You feel completely safe. And so she beckons to you to come to you. She may be your mother, your grandmother, a holy vision. It's just your muse letting you see one face of her. And so she invites you to sit down beside her. And then imagine that you're an 8-year-old little girl And she's going to tell you something. Say, what do I have? What have I done? I'm 8 years old. What am I proud of? What were you proud of when you were a young girl? What was something you were really good at or you really loved to do? Doesn't matter whether it's bike riding or swinging or anything. Doesn't even have to be creative. Now, so as you walk around, you're going to get up and take a few steps around the garden, and when you turn around, you're a young woman, 20 years old, let's say. And the muse asks you, she holds your hand tenderly and says, what do you have to be proud of right now? What did you do that's all yours? Maybe it was even secret. No one knew what your special gift was. Or what have you accomplished? Take some more deep breaths. So then you walk around this meadow. There's birds singing. This grass is soft beneath your feet. And now you're an older woman. And you have all these decades of experiences and love and hopes and things that happened. And so in the end, right now, what do you have to feel like that you have cause to celebrate? Something that's part of you. So now, you come on back and you'll sit down with your muse. She's so happy to have communicated with you and that you met her there. She smiles at you. And then she wants to give you something, and it turns up in your pocket. So put your hand in your pocket of your shirt, and what is in there? It might be a rose. It could be anything, actually. It could be something that would never fit in a pocket. So this is her gift to you. So hold it close to your heart and let it in. So thank your muse, because it's time to leave the garden with her, because we're going to bring the goodness that she shared with you back and put it into your work on paper. Basically, I want to talk about the very first thing we need to do. Most people have a very strong inner critic. And the inner critic is going to say, that's not good, that line is wrong, oh, terrible, or whatever. But right now, we're dancing with our muse. And the muse is sort of the counterpoint to the inner critic. So we're going to ask all of our muses to go through the gate and go for a little walk to that tranquility point here, whatever it's called in Ojai. So they can go have fun in the park, and we're going to have fun with our muses. One of the whole things is you want to make this yours. So I want you to put your hands on the big piece of paper and be thinking about, like, you just had this great little trip into the meadow with your muse. And so, you know, just be thinking about that and those thoughts that you got. And so, and I'm gonna, this is my magic wand. I'm just gonna kind of juice this up with some energy. I want you to write about the accomplishments that we just visioned. The 8-year-old girl, what was she proud of? The 18 to 22-year-old girl, what was she proud of? Or if you want to take it a little deeper, what is something that happened but you turned it around and it became the strength. It's part of your strength today. So you can go there if you want, or we can just do celebration. So it's up to you. And then, as you saw the mature woman and her celebrations, so if you can, just keep it to a couple of words. And I'm going to make mine, because what we're going to do with these is we're going to tear them into small pieces, and after, in our process, we're going to paste them to as part of the picture. So write on the small piece those things that the 8-year-old girl was celebrating, what the 20-year-old girl was celebrating, and what the mature woman was celebrating. Like, were you smart in school? Were you good in math? Did you like to plant plants? Like, I loved biking. Biking won't get out of my mind. But I had a special relationship with my dear dog, Cleo. That dog's in a couple of my paintings. When I went to my grandma's house, it was a big celebration. So it doesn't have to be like I made an A. It can be grandma. I want you to write on here, because we're going to cover it. So it kind of doesn't matter what you're writing, because we're going to cover it with paint. But I am issuing an invitation to my muse. An invitation and a thank you. To Sue Hoya Sellers. I wouldn't be here today. Shiloh and Bev. Oh yeah, and then my mom and my grandma. I'll just stop there because I could fill the whole page. But so this is another way to sort of put your energy in this, because it's gonna be all yours when you're done. When you get your plate, like, it's really just use about a quarter size. Put a quarter size of each color. And so, and I'm going to, am I moving too fast? Okay, good. Okay, so you have something written on there, and you have spray bottles on your table. So you're just going to kind of lightly mist it, so the paint will, I'm using these acrylics, and you're just going to have fun. There's absolutely no way to get this wrong. So I'm just trusting that the muse is letting me pick the right the color that's going to be good. And sometimes we end up painting over all of this too, so you might start falling in love with the color right away. That's good, but don't get so attached that you won't paint over it later. So once again, you just want to cover the entire piece of paper. So I'm actually going to make her face pretty big. She's going to take up most of the picture. So I'm going to do the lower portion of the face. So just getting that white, and then, so it's like an egg. I'm going to do this, and an eye. And it doesn't matter whether you make it right. Here's the eyebrow, and you can just bring that eyebrow down to around here, and then just sort of a little moon. I'm gonna do 2 little. And then I'm gonna do her lips. So the lips, hi. Oh, I'm gonna do her neck. Goodness sake, yes. And right now, if you don't like the way a line is, you just do it again, because we're going to paint over it. So I'm going to do this neck. So basically it's like a little mountain. The top line does not give expression. It's really that middle one. And so she's got a full lip, just a little moon underneath. What's important about honoring all of her openings, like her eyes, her nose, her mouth, her ears, is that we want her senses open as you draw her. I'm going to give her like some curly hair. Oh, I think she wants some earrings. So listen to your piece of paper, listen to your muse. She's gonna say, ooh, I want a hat, or I want wild hair, or blue hair, or whatever it's gonna be. So I'm gonna make the lines, these where your eye goes back to fit the socket. And let's give her some more hair. So the whole trip with Color of Woman and Cosmic Cowgirls is you don't have to be perfect. You just need to get out there with your muse and talk to her. I am going to show you how to open up her eyes a little. So I made this sort of line down here. I'm going to start with the hair because it's just, I have a better flow. I'm going to go in between these lines. She wanted blue hair. I'm going to go I'll get a clean brush and I'm going to go dip it in the matte medium and I'm going to put it over her hair. because I'm choosing to glitterize her hair. So my muse asked me for pink glitter in her hair. This is all the hair I don't display in corporate America, where I work. So I think, so you just take this matte medium because it dries clear.
Laima Kathleen Graham is next week's guest. She will share her wisdom related to divination and the beauty of dancing with snakes.